Hi guys, I'm Fay Louise.
And I'm Jossy and welcome
And
to Now That's What I
welcome to
Call
Now
a
That's What
Talk
I Call a
Show.
Talk Show. How's everybody doing out there? Are you all okay? Jossy, how are you doing?
I'm all right. I'm just keeping busy. I think that's probably the best
The
advice I can
hardest
give
thing to do
anybody.
while in isolation is keeping bloody busy. I am
Yeah,
so bored.
yeah. It's just I think the boredom is getting to everybody now. But I just think don't get consumed by the negative stuff going on because it's bad. It's bad for everybody. Everybody's going through something, but try and remain positive through it and just let's all support each other.
Well,
How are you?
I wish people would stay indoors. That's the only thing that's really annoying me, is that people aren't being responsible, if anything. Do you know what I mean? And it
Oh,
just comes down
well,
to individuals being
well,
selfish, I think,
absolutely.
because
Absolutely. It's just had on the news there that the Scottish Health Minister, who was giving advice to the people in Scotland not to go out, not to go on holiday, to stay in their homes, went on holiday last week. Fair enough, it was elsewhere in Scotland, but she didn't even take her own advice. It's crazy.
typical. Typical.
Uh-huh.
Well, we have one hell of a show for you guys today. We've got some incredible queens joining us soon. But what's
Yeah.
everybody been up to? Have you been watching RuPaul? I've rewatched it 3 times. And I just think that Gia Good coming out as gender fluid was like amazing. Did you see it, Jossy?
Oh yes, I've seen it twice. I wasn't expecting it, and I think it just goes to show when this series started, there was a big furore about there being no trans queens or no gender variant queens. And lo and behold, what has happened? It just goes to show you that you can't just judge people straight away. And I really like Gigi Good. I thought she's a really talented queen.
When she said it, though, I did see it. It was weird. It was like I really saw how she was trying to describe herself. It really, I mean, I saw it through different eyes, and I was like, wow, I can totally see that, which is totally amazing. But I just feel like people need to just stop trying to scream for validation, have everybody listed, because she would have been there regardless if she'd have said she was gender fluid or if she hadn't. Therefore, she would have been there. So I just feel like all this, like, we need representation. It's there. Like, we're seeing it, and people maybe they're feeling forced to actually come out a little bit too early because I feel like she was a bit, I don't know, she seemed anxious when she was talking about it. Did you get that impression?
Yeah, it's probably almost as if the producer hasn't told her, right? Could
Well,
you
we
talk
know it's
about
a
this?
dodgy edit.
Because
We know it's a dodgy edit.
we know how the TV works, so and that's what
Wow.
I think. Maybe it's just the producers in her ear telling her to do that. But I haven't seen any articles or anything about it on no. I've seen nothing on social media like praising her for coming out as gender fluid. Weirdly, which
The
I thought
whole
I would.
world is overcome with COVID-19. I mean, more and more, day by day, celebrities are catching corona by even Pink just recently came and said that she'd been tested positive, and I'm thinking, are we all isolating? How's it getting to, do you know what I mean? How is it continuously breaking through the barriers? But all these celebrities who are now donating to the NHS must be getting worried because there is no kind of, celebrities can go and get like facelifts privately, money buys everything, not a cure. And I think that's why they're all looking deep down and thinking, yeah, this is the time. And I think that's amazing from them. A lot of the footballers are either giving up their wage or giving up a 70% of their wage, which I feel is amazing as well. I just hope that doesn't just stop as soon as we get past this and things like that kind
Yeah.
of continue, because look at the positive effects it has on it. Do you know what I mean?
Absolutely, yeah. And it's like people are saying, how is the NHS going to recover after this? Well, it will recover if money's being actually poured into it, which should just be happening anyway. We're very, 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 very lucky to have an NHS. The people in America, they don't have an
Screwed.
NHS, private health
I would
insurance.
be so scared to be in America. That'll be so scary. But tonight we will hear from the Queen at 8 o'clock. So
We
that
will.
should be good. I just wonder what she has to say to us, and maybe, I don't know, maybe her asking us more. Just, I feel it's the same thing as stay at home. I just feel like it's going to be coming from a different
Yeah,
person now.
yeah. I kind of feel that is it almost preparing us for a more official lockdown, because judging by what they were saying today, that there might be stopping people meeting outdoors, there might be more enforcement, and maybe the Queen is kind of just softening that a little bit till we get there. I don't know, maybe that's just my conspiracy brain.
I feel a bit bad because, like, for people like me and you and many people that I do know who are really abiding by the rules, it's kind of a sour taste in our mouth, because I don't go out unless I'm like with my dog, and I'll do it once a day if I actually go out, unless someone else does it. And I just feel like the people who are really sticking by the rules and actually trying to do the right thing, all these other people who are being selfish, are kind of ruining it. And I mean, I would hate to be like a family of five, like 5 kids or 3 kids stuck in the house, and then it actually becomes a permanent thing where you can't go out no matter what. I just think like that's worse, and that is even harder for people who are in domestic relationships where they're suffering domestic abuse and stuff, mental health. You know, not leaving the house, even if it's only for an hour, it helps me to be able to go out, even if I'm just for a walk, even if I don't take the dogs and I'm just going to exercise. It just really helps, and I just worry that selfishness is going to lead to a more official and permanent lockdown, which is probably going to take the country longer to recover from.
No, that's the thing. People just abide by the rules, you know. But I always just think every day we're in it, we're a day closer to getting out of it. When that is, nobody knows. Nobody knows when that is.
I hope so. Anyway, let's cheer our screen up with 2 amazing, beautiful. Like, I have kind of stalked these guys for a while. They just didn't know. I have followed their career for quite a while online because of the shows they do, because they haven't really done loads of stuff online. They've done stage, TV. They've done amazing things, but they'll speak for themselves. So let's bring on Tess, Tickle and Emma Royd. I'm just going to click, see if it works. Hello, ladies.
Hi.
Yay.
Evening. It is evening.
Hello.
Yeah, it's just on 6, so it's lovely to be here.
Yes, well, finally, your diary is not jam-packed like it normally was, because you guys were hard to get a hold of.
We were working 5 days a week and 6 nights a week, and now we're working... Emma, how much are we working, Pet? Is she there?
Are you there, Emma?
I can't hear I can only hear what you're saying, Faye.
She's gone.
What I'm saying, I'll try and bring you back in. I'm just going to pop Emma out, bring her back in. Technology hates us. Right, can you hear us?
I can hear you.
I can hear you.
I can't hear Tess, no.
I can hear
Nice
you.
to see you, Pet. Yes, we've gone from working 6 nights a week, 5 days a week.
You just spoke, haven't you?
Yeah, hiya.
Yeah. So I can hear you too, but I can't hear Tess.
That's a good thing.
Do you want to jump back off and come back in, Tess? Maybe that'll fix it.
No problem. Have a lovely night, ladies, and I will see you next year when my diary's free again. All right, see you later, Tara. Bye, Emma. Don't ring me. I'm sick of you.
Well, I'm sure she'll be coming back on. Well, we can start with you, Emma. How are you doing in isolation? How's it going?
Not very good. I'm not going to lie. I'm climbing the bloody walls here. I'm used to being like a social butterfly. I'm used to hounding Tess. I'm used to going over and being with them all. And I just feel as though I'm totally just like lost being in isolation.
I'm loving you being in isolation.
Oh, I can hear you now.
Good.
Yay.
And what about you, Tess? How are you doing in isolation? Because I know you are such a busy bee. To not be able to do what you were doing, it must have been a total change.
It's been a complete culture shock from me working 5 days a week in the public sector to doing 6 nights a week on stage or DJing or whatever it is that I've been doing, to actually sit in the house, not put my face on, not have anything to get up for. It really is strange, and I've had a bit of a culture, not only a culture shock, but also I've found myself a little bit, because I didn't realise how much I enjoyed being Tess Tickle, and not being able to be Tess Tickle was really difficult. I felt like I'd lost my purpose. I felt like
Oh, wow.
my stage had been taken away from me, and I literally live and feed off what other people get from me, get from the shows, or take from the shows, or and I totally lost that. I'd lost that connection, and my day job had also been really reduced down. Although I'm a key worker and I'm still working on a rota basis, it's just been really strange. And I've been with my husband for 12 years, and having to spend every waking minute with him. Oh my word! Like,
You love it, man. You love it. Don't you want to make me cry?
I love it.
Is he not a key worker? No, is he not a key worker, Tess?
He is also a key worker, and he's currently working in the community. But he has been asked if he wanted to be furloughed or if he was going to continue the support in other areas, and he's opted to work because he didn't want to be in the house with me 24/7. I think he's opted to work, which we all are in these difficult times. But we are finding it really, really strange. And as a couple that is really close, we never argue, we never bicker, but we're finding different aspects and elements of ourselves and things that wouldn't usually annoy me. I'm like, can you not blink a little bit quieter, because it's annoying the shit out of me. But and the fact that Emma is FaceTiming me 12, 13, 14 times a day asking what I'm doing.
It's not, it's only about 6 or 7.
I'm the same with Jossy. I'm like, what you doing? She's like,
the
same fucking thing, Fay. Like, what you on about?
I know, if she goes for a piss, I'm there.
She usually says, can I hold it? And I'm like, no, I haven't got one.
Nah.
She no sooner gets her ass on the rim and I'm there.
So
the
answer to your question is, I was finding it really, really difficult until our little phone call, and you sorted us out so that we could reach out. And I do feel,
thank you very much.
Yeah, honestly,
not a problem.
You girls have been leading the way on social media for such a long time, and although we were going live on a Saturday, that was taken away from us because we couldn't be together. And although we're loving that separation, well, one half of us is.
I'm not loving the separation.
That's why I said one half, love. What's one half of a whole? What's one half of a whole?
Me missing.
Oh, God. You hear that, Emma? What is one half of a whole?
Me missing.
Oh, shut up.
Well, I do know what you mean, though, and it was really, really nice, because you're not the only queens or entertainers who have like asked us, oh, how do you do it? And it was only me fiddling around online that got us so into this, because I wanted to reach my mission, regardless of if I was reaching 10 people or 20,000 people. I wanted to do it on all platforms. Like, I wanted everyone to go, like, oh, have you seen the videos on Facebook? Because we do obviously different ones about being transgender, like about the process, all that stuff. But then we do fun ones like this. And when I came across this platform, I even said to myself, everybody should be using this. Like, this is such a clever tool. And as soon as I saw everyone kind of like struggling, people weren't knowing what to do, people were turning to Instagram, which isn't really as good as some of the platforms can be. I just felt like I literally wanted to shout it from the rooftops, like, I'm here to help. And it was such a pleasure to see your first show, because I was like, yes, I did that. I liked it.
Yes, you did.
Thank you very much.
You have been like my IT guru, and I've played around with it and done a few things, and it's just off the back of you girls, and thank you for helping us out, because you've brought us together. But not only have you brought us three together, you've brought our audience back to us, and us
so we
back
all
to our
use
audience.
girls a hell of a lot. We do.
Honestly, you really don't. The thing is, guys, you have had such an exciting career, but you girls aren't just best friends. You girls are friends to your audience. Like, It is actually remarkable for me and Jossy to watch the impression you leave with people, the uplifting feeling you give people, the step-by-step mentoring that you girls clearly are helping people by doing your shows, by chatting to them. How does it feel like you do actually lift people up? This isn't just being a drag queen for you guys. This is a way of life.
Emma?
It's a lovely feeling, and it like, I must admit, I just, when this comes off, I just think that I'm just me.
What you want, real women? What?
When I take my dress off and I've got my makeup,
That's
on,
me,
That's when the party starts, Emma.
Woo!
But it is nice to know, like, we do get a lot of messages of people from our shows, from when we've done the live feeds, saying like how much over the years we've actually changed their lives, of that they love tuning in to watch me and Tess, and that they you know, they just it's very, very lovely to read.
It's very, very expensive, because we've got to offer people counselling sessions after they've met Emma, because they didn't draw.
Well, I can see a side company, drag counsellors. That's definitely £50 an hour for that stuff. And
No,
you, Tess, I mean, how does it feel? Because you aren't just a role model. You aren't just like a really funny one to see. You do, people live their life by following you guys and doing what you guys are doing, and it is helping people. Is that why you guys felt so strongly about getting online? Because you still felt the responsibility and you weren't able to reach out?
So what started it for us was going back 3 years ago, driving up to the Dream Boys, Newcastle. One of our boys, Bobby, who does the live feed with us, he said to me and Emma, we're just bantering in the car, driving up to the Dream Boys, and being just me and Emma. And when we're together, we are, what you see is what you get. There's no pretense. There's nothing. It's straight out the mouths of babes. What we give you, what we can give you. And Bobby said to us, people really need to see this side, because what they're seeing is they're seeing a character on stage performing, miming to a song, standing up, doing a bit of banter. But when them curtains fall, they don't see what happens backstage when we're driving to and from places, the natural banter that we have with each other. And Bobby said you should really go live. And we went live for the very first time and driving up the A1. Not long after that, we got pulled by the police because it was.
We got wrong.
And we actually said, you didn't, I did. And I said it was a sat nav. And he said, funny that, I've never seen a sat nav with 200 viewers. And he just said, you're not allowed to go live even though you're not looking at it. Please pull over. So we did pull over and we started doing the lives. And the reason why I was really passionate about it was because we were getting so many messages from that one show, Saturday Night Diva, was that you lift our spirits. We forget the world. It's a bit of escapism. You girls are brighten our day. We can't get to a show because we can't leave the house. Our anxiety is really bad.
But we have had people. We have had people, haven't we, Tess, who because of their anxiety and because that they haven't left the house for years, around and obviously adhering to confidentiality. We've had people in the surrounding areas where we've done the shows where they have been able to come, and they've come ever since, haven't they?
Yeah,
well,
which is a big achievement for somebody who maybe hasn't left the house for a number of years.
And they've come just to see us. Go on, sorry, Jossy.
Yeah. So no, I just really think that is the power of drag and how drag can bring people together, and it can bring communities together. And we would like to take a little trip just down memory lane, and just ask you what inspired you both to get into drag.
Emma, do you want to go first because you're a gobshite?
This is going to sound so much as though I'm licking arses, and I'm not, because she is my best friend and she is sat beside us. But really, the reason why I got into drag was, one, because I like performing, and one, because I like entertaining and being out there. But secondly, Tess obviously was a drag queen before me and Cara. I'm trying to do this with my hand and talk with my hands, but then I've just realised that you can't even see my hands moving. So and Tess went first, and she'll tell you her tale.
Talk about you.
Talk about me. So, but yes, we started off in Tess's bathroom, really. All painting faces, and when she lived in her old house. We started off in the living room. And
Short story, not the long story, Emma.
Yeah, Diamonds Are a Girl's Best Friend was our first ever cabaret number, made out of costumes, which Cara made, pink velours, which have now been burned.
Nobody cares.
Yeah, so that's it, really. Sorry. Was I talking too long?
Emma, I love your
No,
stories.
you weren't. She's just winding you up. It was lovely.
Oh, you better piss off, you, Tess. If I'm very abrupt or I'm very, it's not to use gorgeous girls above us, it's to her beside.
Oh, no. We're fine. We understand. So what about
Yeah.
you, Tess? When did it all begin for you? You've
Honestly,
obviously been...
You want the truth?
I want all the truth.
We would love it. Spill the tea.
All right. Okay, literally spill the tea. Here we go. So working in the public sector, I bought my first house with Mr. Tickle, and bills started mounting up, and it was pretty difficult, really difficult, and struggling to pay for things on standard wages, and I needed to look for a second job. Anyway, Mr. Tickle's two really good friends decided to have a joint birthday party, and I went in drag in fancy dress, and they wanted me to do a little bit of a lap dance and a happy birthday Marilyn Monroe style. So I did that, and then I said to him, this could be a really good way of making money. I've idolized drag since I came out of the closet, and I've always watched really good entertainers on the gay scenes and in the bars and clubs. And I thought to myself, well, I love watching it. Why can't I do it? So I'm going to have a go. I've done it once. People enjoyed it. Let's do it again. And I got given my first gig in Darlington. And then for the first year, it sort of got bigger and better, and the money started coming in, and I started being able to pay my bills because I was really struggling. And then I entered a competition and won that, and then moved on from that and evolved. And it became more of an obsession, and people were wanting more, and I was wanting to give more. And then that was why I started, basically, because I was skint and I needed another income, and drag just fit in perfect around my day job, because drag doesn't start till 9 o'clock at night, and I don't need much sleep.
Wow, that is such an insight to where it really all began. So obviously with competitions, and drag has become more mainstream, which has obviously enabled you guys to have such a successful career. Have you guys been watching RuPaul Drag Race this year? Would you girls ever even think about going on something like that? And lastly, because I really do want to get your opinion, have you been watching the Sherry Pie story unfold? And if you have, do you have an opinion on that?
Emma, do you know what Sherry Pie is?
No, I haven't. No.
No, I have no. I don't watch RuPaul. I watch RuPaul UK to support our UK queens. I'll be honest with you, I have not seen any RuPaul USA. However, It's the perfect time to watch it. Now we're in lockdown, we can watch them back to back. I have
Definitely
with a lot of the queens from the RuPaul's series, and they're amazing. I think, tell me a little bit about the story that unfolded, and I can tell you if I know which one I'm...
So basically, well, we've been looking into it over the past few weeks, how it unfolded. And the juiciness of it is, she was pretending to be a casting director, getting guys to send like risky kind of cast videos, but she knew these guys and she'd like encourage them to do like, oh, you should really like be a bit more sexual. Nothing actually, well, what we could read sexually actually happened. They've almost gatekeeped it and made it into a Harvey Weinstein thing. But what we are so shocked by is, I get like she did something wrong. She was a catfish or whatever she was doing. No criminal charges have been brought, and nothing like that's actually happened. But she literally has been edited out of a show. I mean, honestly, Tess, they didn't even let her walk the runway. They were like cutting segments like that out. She's gone from that series.
Why edit somebody out? If it's a reality TV show, then which it is, you see parts of backstage and you see on stage. Why would you edit that out instead of educating your audience as to what's actually happened? Personally, I would have left it in, educated the audience and said, this is what's happening. This is why it's wrong. This is why this person has been removed. Instead of seeing things online and made up stories, let's hear it from the horse's mouth from the get-go. Then there's no vicious rumours. And then also people out there can say, do you know what? It is wrong to use somebody else's photographs to obtain other things from other people that people wouldn't necessarily send willingly. I've been catfished. I've been on sites and I've had people say to me, are you on there? And I'm saying, no, it's not me. And I've actually had my phone checked to make sure that the ISO isn't the person that is connected to that profile. And
I'm always getting catfished.
No, you are a catfish. Look. But
I agree with you, Tess. I agree with you. I don't think she should have been edited out. I think what's happened is she's actually getting really far in the series, because what they keep coming back to is, oh, she will not be in the final. So I actually think she probably got to the final, but they've had to obviously retract. Because imagine if she won, they're probably thinking that would look bad. But if anything, it just shows people can change. Like, if she wasn't on RuPaul's Drag Race, nobody would have even mentioned it. So people weren't that concerned, really, were they?
No.
And she's really funny as well. Like, she's really, really
so
funny. She's
fucking
really,
funny.
really talented.
So funny.
That's the thing. And for Snatch Game, she did Katharine Hepburn. It was just so funny, but it was just so edited out that you only seen such a little bit of it.
See,
I think they should. I think they
like
should keep wearing.
because I haven't seen it. But I just think education is key.
Definitely, I definitely agree. But obviously, are you going? I mean,
Emma?
Oh, it's all right. I'll listen.
Obviously, we're all in isolation, and everyone's been asking us how we're surviving. But how are you guys surviving in isolation? What are you doing? What's your favourite things to watch? What's your favourite food to eat? What are your top 3 things to be doing in isolation, other than obviously going live?
Emma?
Oh, you just hit them on the head. Oh, food being the first one. I love me grub. I'm not going to lie. I think my waist size, my arse size has definitely gone up a little bit, but so's the front of us. And it's a good job I'm sat down, because really, I mean, I am like, I'm busting out of this frock at the moment because I think I've put on loads and loads of weight. So food being the first one, I can't give you a name of my favourite food because I like it all.
Me too.
Yeah, you name
so
it.
is that all you've been doing is eating? Have you got now else to do in lockdown? Surely you cannot eat for
I've walked around the block. I've FaceTimed you walking around the block.
Well, this is what they're asking. What are you doing in lockdown, honey? Are you doing anything other than eating and walking?
Talking to you.
Well, isn't that wonderful?
Oh.
No,
What
I'm
about
trying
you?
to keep myself active. I am.
Good.
Trying to, keep
Well,
myself focused.
I agree though, Emma. Food has become my bloody best friend at the moment. I just keep developing chins, and I literally the chin girl. When isolation is over, I'm gonna be a plus size model. Basically, that's what I'm gonna be.
There's nothing
Once
wrong with being,
isolation's over.
there's nothing wrong. I always say it with having a fuller figure. I've said it for years. There's nothing wrong with having a fuller figure. I mean, look
It keeps me warm at night. It keeps me warm at night. And what about you, Tess? What are you doing to keep yourself busy?
I am doing a lot of work from home. I'm planning the next show because obviously this is not going to last forever, and we need to look. And like Jossy said at the start, we're one step in, which means we're closer to being out. And I am literally focusing for the end, because the end is in sight. We've got shows coming up right the way throughout the year. We are literally fully booked. We don't know when them shows are going to get picked back up, so we're planning the Christmas show, making sure all the costumes are on order. I'm doing stuff like that, doing the online things, keep myself busy. I've got the decorators in, and I've been decorating. I have been cleaning. I feel like I'm a bleach queen now. I'm a bleach queen, and I'm still doing my day job 1 day a week, just making sure that things are ticking over there. but yeah, just trying to keep myself active and giving myself a task to do every single day. So rather than trying to get everything finished, leaving it, which is really difficult for me because I am really particular. And if a job is started, it needs to be finished. Whereas I'm having to train my mind to, right, leave it, walk away, come back tomorrow. And then it just gives you something else to do, because I'm a doer. So I like to be constantly on the go. I'm a busy queen. I'm a busy bee.
What is that like, girls? Emma and Tess, to both of you. What is it like not knowing, oh, we'll have a Christmas show? Like, because it's almost like such a limbo. Because like for me, I like obviously as soon as we can get out there, but as the events that I'm part of, we're almost being told like, don't even think they're going to happen this year. But what is it like for you guys? Obviously, that I work for someone else, but you guys, it's your business. It's what you guys do.
Yeah.
What is it actually like being in limbo, thinking, I'm storing this gown, is it going to happen? It must be a scary process.
It's really daunting because you don't. It costs a lot of money to look this cheap, and
no, you don't. That is bullshit. You two are more turned out than I really don't want to mention any of the queens. But honestly, I've met you. I was naked and pissed, but I met you anyway. And you just
remember that.
You looked. I had a double take. I was like, "Is that a girl in drag? What the fuck's going on here?" Because you just so turned out. It's like the pinnacle of what a trans person wants to transition to when they want to be that beautiful. Obviously,
Wow.
I'm a natural beauty and a wallflower because I'm so shy. But you girls look top dollar. I mean, it must cost an absolute fortune to look that really good.
It does. It does cost a lot of money. And what's scary is we're planning a Christmas show that we're hoping is going ahead. We're planning as if it's going ahead. We're planning to be back up and running as soon as they lift the lockdown and lift all of the bans for the entertainments and things. We'll be there on the day that it is lifted. We'll be in a bar near you performing, but that's still at a cost. So even though we've got shows coming up, our shows, our prides, we've had gowns commissioned, we have to commission them 6 months in advance. We didn't know this was going to happen, so then people still need paying. Our principal, they need paying. So now we're out of work, we're self-employed, we're totally out of work, but our costume makers, our feather designers, our hair, our wig makers, our shoemakers, our jewelry makers, they all still need paying. It's still coming out of the bank. It's still coming out of our fund. They still need to be paid. We commissioned them. We asked them to make it. So we're still going to go ahead and we're going to have them made because this will be over. But what we're going to do is we're literally just going to have to work harder than we've ever worked in the last 10 years that we've been drag queens to recoup the money that we've lost, because we aren't eligible for grants of the government. We aren't eligible for any money because we actually do have day jobs. However, our night jobs are where we make our money for the shows, because although you might think that we're working a lot and you might think that we make a lot of money, but we actually spend a lot of money.
Oh, it costs a lot to look that good. It really, really does.
Yeah. I haven't got a piss in.
I think if I'm honest, Emma, and Tess, that is the main reason why I first, when I saw you post about like online stuff, and many of the queens out there, I've just texted them and went, listen, I can set it up for you. I know what I'm doing. It's really simple. Because I think when I used to work for all the entertainment companies like Club Kids, and that was all I was earning because I never had a day job at the time. But if that was just to have been gone out of my life, I wouldn't have known what to do. And it is so scary. So I think obviously you guys still doing your online stuff. I think it's great, but it's really nice to hear that you're like nails and eyelashes ready to go as soon as we get the go ahead off the government. Do you know what I mean?
Totally
I can't wait. I'm very positive about it. I'm trying to be very positive. I just want people to just listen, stay at home, follow the guidelines, and then if everybody does that, follows that through, and then hopefully, because I don't know how longer I can cope being locked up, quite frankly. So
have you noticed that people are disobeying the rules? Like I've noticed where we live, we've seen loads of people out enjoying the sunshine in big groups, and it's kind of like, are you silly? Like it's almost, I feel like some part of humanity is a bit stupid. It's like,
Yeah, I just can't. It's total disbelief, because all you need to do is speak to an NHS worker who are working directly with the coronavirus patients, and they are actually seeing COVID-19 nurses who are nursing them actually on ventilators themselves because they've contracted the virus. And people need to stay at home. This isn't just a government warning. It's not going to happen. Look at Italy, look at Spain, look at the USA. It is in total lockdown. Britain needs to just take it by, Boris, just take it by the balls and say, listen, lock us up. We've lost our jobs. We've lost our businesses. We are literally in limbo. We need firmer guidance, and they need to lead by example as well. Never mind, you need to self-isolate for 7 days and then 5 days back on a billboard. No, you need to self-isolate. You need to stay out of the way of the public. If you are symptomatic, stay at home and make sure you are self-isolating until them symptoms are totally gone. You've been asked and instructed by our Prime Minister to stay indoors and do not meet your friends. I haven't seen Emma it'll be 2 weeks today. I haven't seen any of my family because most of them were vulnerable. I haven't seen them for 3 weeks, and I'm constantly in touch with them. But when I see other people walking up and down the street or going in the parks with other people and kids out on the streets, this isn't a holiday. This is a lockdown. You are never going to see this again, probably in your lifetime. We are going to have teaching history lessons on COVID-19. Do as you're told. Stay indoors. Stay safe, because what you're doing is you're spreading a virus that is killing people. They are dying. People are dying. Them numbers aren't just a number on your screen. They are actual people with actual feelings, with family and friends. We're losing our loved ones. So do as you're told. It's only for a short time. We might be locked up for 3 months, but we're going to live for the next 90 years. That's a good deal for me.
If people like us can all stay together and stay in the house, especially Emma, clearly she's the bad one in the group. She wants to get out. But if people like Emma, Tess, me, Jossy can stay at home, and like I'm a social bloody butterfly, I want to be out there, then everybody else should be, because it just makes no sense. People are. I remember 3 weeks ago.
It shows that we can do it. We all, us four, can do it. We all stay in it. We all abide by the rules, with the view and the hope that very, very shortly, if it's not weeks and weeks and weeks, that everything will hopefully return back to normal.
If it is weeks and weeks and weeks and it saves lives, I'm quite happy to stay in weeks and weeks and weeks to save those lives.
Yeah, the sooner people just sorry. I was just going to say, the sooner that people do follow the rules, the sooner we are going to get out of it. That's what people just need to think.
100%. 100%.
Yeah.
I was going to ask you girls to address the nation as our queens, but I do feel you just have very good stuff. And I think people don't actually understand how busy you guys were. Like, before this happened, I remember you were just constant. There was always an event, always at a club, always at another thing you were putting on. And for you guys to just stop and stand still, it's remarkable, because you must be itching at the feet to get out. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, we are. Well, I am.
It's very, very hard, really hard. And to be able to for us to still continue our work and entertain people, we're going to continue to do that right the way through. And that's 2 and 3 times a week, putting our faces on, making going out and being turned out 100% that we possibly can. We're going to continue to do that, because we believe that the people who have supported us for the last 10, 11 years, it's now our time to support them. It's us to give back, because they've paid to see us, and they've kept us in a lifestyle that we've become accustomed to. And if it wasn't for them, we wouldn't have this platform. We might have had our stage taken away from us, but we haven't had our social platform. Not now. We don't have to be in a bar or a pub, but we can be in the palm of their hands or on the TV screens, thanks to modern day technology. And we're going to constantly do that right the way through. And it has been difficult for me and Emma. We've had, and Cara and Gucci and Bobby.
Are you isolating alone, Emma?
No, I live with my grandmother.
So you have someone who you're, and obviously so do you, Tess. I do as well. And the weird thing as well, this is the most hardest thing that I couldn't do anything about today. And I kind of had to just come up. Jossy rang us and went, I'm just fucking lonely, Faye. And for me, because I can turn to Stu and be like, oh, you know what you're doing, like have a bit of a laugh. It must be incredibly hard for people out there who literally are staring at four walls. Do you know what I mean? And I personally, that's the main reason I sit on this bloody crack show, laughing and carrying on with random people, stalking you drag queens to get your asses ready and get on. Just so for those people who are sat thinking, my God, I'm gonna lose it, can laugh and giggle and be like, look at these daft cows just being themselves. That's personally why when we first start the show, we both go, how are you doing? Like, how are you doing really? And a lot of people out there's so many people, Tess and Emma, doing videos, but they're not very real. Like when we watch you guys, these are just you guys being you guys, telling the truth, saying it as it is. But there's a lot of other isolation videos that are giving the impression that it's like, it's so amazing, but it's genuinely hard. And I think the more we start talking about it as a like a society, that wow, as you said, Emma, and I mean Tess, this is going to be taught about in the school books years to come. But we need to really remember people who are actually on their own. This must be incredibly difficult.
We find it.
Someone who is on their own, it can be. So just because I am on my own, so like, and I know that it can be. I am working, so I'm also a key worker as well. So that's kind of keeping me going. That I am getting like a break from it. But when I'm on days off, like a lot of people, I'm having continuous periods of just being on my own. But I can talk to Faye, I can talk to my mum. So, and I'm doing this, so that's keeping me busy. So
our best friend, Miss Cara, she is also living alone, and we've had this conversation today. In fact, she won't mind me saying live, because we are open and honest, and our lives literally are out there for everyone to see. We were meant to be travelling to Thailand today as a group, me, Cara, Emma, Mr. Tickle, Scarlett, and Scott, her partner, and we should have been almost in Dubai now, ready to start an amazing once in a lifetime holiday as a group of friends. And Miss Cara's on her own, and she messaged me today and I said, how are you, lass? Are you all right? And you know, I think that's really important to say, how are you? How are you? Because how many times does people say, you all right? And you go, yeah, thanks. It's never, how are you? Nobody ever says, how are you? And actually cares about how you're feeling. And we as a group always say, how are you? And she said today, honestly, lass, I'm bored shitless. I am bored and I'm lonely. And if it wasn't for doing Untucked on Wednesday and doing Zoom parties and watch parties and going live as a group, she said I would be bored. I'd be really bored. And we are taking the mick out of Emma for FaceTiming 7 and 8 times a day. But you need that contact.
Cara loves it. I FaceTime Cara a lot as well on a night when I know that on a night when she's laid or sat watching the TV, I think, right, I'm gonna FaceTime her to break a night up a little bit for her. She likes it, really. She says she doesn't, but she does.
I think it's so nice to see that the sisterhood that you guys show on stage is actually real. So one reason we love having our guests on, because people get to see like the other side of people. As you said, you do your on the road, and now you're doing the kind of like backstage to see what you're like. But it's so nice that you can come on our show, and for your fans as well as ours, they can see someone who's really, the pair of you is so genuine and so real. As much as we're all done up and big hair, like you are very real for as fake looking as we all look. We are very fucking real people, and it's so nice that you guys are still doing, because I watched your show the first time and the second time, and I even said to Jossy, flabbergasted on the comments how they are like literally touching people's hearts. And We get a lot of private messages like that, but it was so nice that your audience are almost there with you, sharing it. And I just said to Jossy, it's a different thing that you guys do, but it's so
Our
freaking
audience-
powerful. It blew me
Our
away.
audience are a part of us. Our audience created us. We are our audience because we share our lives with everybody, and we give everybody a little bit of us because we think they deserve it. But we were going back to the sisterhood. We were friends long before we were drag queens, and we work together. And what happens in drag stays in drag. When we're out of drag, it is whatever is in work, because our hierarchy is really different. I mean, everyone will say that I'm the boss when it comes to drag, and then
I think it's Bobby secretly. I think Bobby has all the
yeah. But as a social circle, Emma is obviously the thick one. Sorry, Emma, and the funny one, and she's but when you take all this makeup off, you'll find that Cara is actually top dog and the funny one, and we're quite quiet and wallflowers and
I don't believe that about Emma. I don't fucking
I am.
Well, ladies, before we let you go, we wanna do a bit of a RuPaul moment. If you could say something to the 5-year-old Testicle and the 5-year-old Emma, what would it be, especially right now? If you were able to say something to the 5-year-old little peeps back then, what would it be?
Who wants to go first?
Emma, go on.
Just be loving, just be grateful of life, just be positive. There's no time for any negativity or any hatred. We don't. We always very positive queens, and we just like to share the love, really. So I'm going to keep it short and sweet. Share the love, be nice, and just ban any negativity out of your life.
I would say to my 5-year-old self, don't worry, sweetheart. Whatever the people are saying out there, all the negativity, those people who are negative and taking the mick out of you right now, they'll be paying your wages in 20 years' time.
Well said, well said. Ladies, thank you so much for joining us. It has been an absolute pleasure to get to know you better, and that is the true reason we wanted you on the show, because we know you're fabulous, but we wanted to get a bit deeper with you. And thank you, of course, for doing what you guys do, because it surely does help a lot of people. Would you agree, Joss?
Oh yeah, it does. It does. I think, like you were just saying, it's just breaking everybody's day up with a little dose of fun, a little bit of lightness, but we do get a bit serious as well, and that's what it's all about. We just support each other through this time.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for having us. It's been an absolute pleasure. And I hope you stay safe, stay at home as much as you can, and we will see you when this is all over, I'm sure.
Thank you, girls. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Tess. Thank you so much, Emma. It's been an absolute pleasure.
Bye.
Well, they were a lovely bunch of testicles.
Lovely.
I loved getting to know them a little bit better. I'm just gonna have a look at the comments. A lot of people obviously shout out to Tess, shout out to Emma. But there is a lot of people explaining being alone, underlying issues. Dawn mentions that her son has, I'm gonna pop it up for you, Jossy, just to quick have a read.
Okay, right.
And
it is hard for people with learning disabilities. I know this firsthand. I work with adults with learning disabilities, so Dawn, I know how much of a difficult time this is for all of us.
For everyone, it's very hard. It's so difficult.
Have to remain hopeful. Yeah, we have to remain hopeful. And I think the thing for me, obviously with working in it, is just busy. Keep busy.
Well, I've always said, and people don't like it, you could be worse off. People will be in a harder, more difficult situation. But I want to remind everyone, that on Wednesday and Saturdays at around 6 p.m, Tess, Tickle and the girls go live every week from now on until obviously we're out of lockdown. Go check it out. It'll lift your spirits. And we should be back this week. Do we have any extra stuff? The Friday. We'll be back on Friday. Maybe, Thursday, sorry. We'll be back on Thursday, maybe even a little bit earlier. But for now, guys, I've been Fay Louise.
And I've been Jossy Yandel.
And we hope you're all doing really, really well out there. Remember, stay safe. And for God's sake, guys, stay home. Good night, guys.
Absolutely.
Bye-bye.